Welcome back. Just like the thumbnail shows, we're going to talk about recovery gear today. I have all the items that I carry with me on most of my trips. I've used all of this many, many times. And I just want to state, you don't have to break the bank when going out and buying your recovery gear. It's easy to have all this stuff add up really quickly, and that doesn't need to happen. We're going to start off, everybody's seen these shackles. They're hanging off everyone's Jeep on their eBay bumper, and they're just old school. They're there for looks most of the time. I do like to run one on my hitch receiver just so I can hook to it if I need to get pulled backwards. But instead of using these, the better thing to use is a nice soft shackle. If you never used these before, you may think that they're weak. They're not. They're extremely strong. And the difference between this and this is if this breaks, it's just going to fall flat. This turns into a missile. And so these are dangerous. Definitely don't use them with chains. Don't be jerking on them. And this will take the place of these almost every time. The other thing I want to go over is snatch block, the pulley style. You've probably all seen these. They're great to have. They'll double the tension of your winch. I don't really find that I need it for that. I've never needed more than 12,000 pounds on my winch, but I do use it to change direction of my winch line if I can't have a nice hookup point that's straight ahead or straight behind me. You can find these at Harbor Freight for very inexpensive. You don't have to break the bank on those. Also, the recovery rings. These are really nice because you can run your line through here or around the outside. You can do a lot of things with these, and they're extremely strong. They also store very small. I like to keep mine in the foam that it came with, because if this does get burrs on it, it's going to cut your winch line if it's synthetic, which I hope it's synthetic. And so just keep it clean, nice. After each use, put it up. You can fit it under a seat, wherever it may be. The next item I want to talk about is straps. So this particular strap I've had for 10 plus years. I actually found it on the feeder of a freeway and picked it up. It's 23,000 pounds. It's 25 or 30 foot long. This is a great, great strap. You're going to want a really strong strap. I've used this more than anything else here to rescue myself, other people, and you want something that's strong. Don't try to tow with a ratchet strap or something like that. Speaking of ratchet straps, get yourself a large ratchet strap like this if you're actually doing some hard wheeling. This isn't to pull you. It's not a come along. What it's good for is if you break something on your suspension, you can pin it up with this and it'll hold. If you use one of those little 1-inch ones that you get from Walmart, it's not going to hold anything. The first time you drop down, your truck tries to articulate, it's just going to pop that. This will not pop. So spend a little money and carry a couple of these. It could be the difference between you spending a night on a trail or actually getting off so that you can maybe get to a tow truck or something else. Another item that people overlook when getting started with your recovery gear is a nice air compressor. So there's a lot of times that you may bust your bead, and if you can't get that bead back on, you're stuck out there, especially if you can't get your spare on. So you need to be able to air up a tire. If you plug a tire, most people have an air compressor, but what they don't think about is they use those little 12-volt plug ones from Walmart, and it's going to take forever, if it will, air up your bigger tires. So I bought a Smitty-built compressor. It was much cheaper than the ARB compressor, and I put a pressure switch on it and an on-off switch. I put it in a Pelican case, and I've been using it for 5 years. No problems. It airs up almost as fast as the ARB. The 37s, no problem for it. I can air up 4 of them really quickly. The other thing you don't need to go spend a ton of money on is your winch. I've been using the Apex 12,000 pound Harbor Freight Badland winch. Hundreds and hundreds of times I've used this winch. Some of my buddies also bought this winch after they seen how well mine works, and none of us have ever had a problem. I think I'm in it for less than $400, maybe around $390. If you went to Warren, that's almost $2,000 or so, and this thing is completely wireless. So I would highly recommend the Harbor Freight, especially if you use that 25% coupon. You will love it. You can buy 4 of those for the price of one of the Warren winches. So I've gotten my 5 years out of it, and it's still going strong. A really important piece of gear is a jack. I like to use a bottle jack. This is a 6-ton power mountain jack. It's called the Tall Boy. It comes with all these different add-ons that you can put for whatever you need. And this is a great jack that fits pretty much all scenarios, and it's safe, wide bottom. It's not going to sink in the mud and sand. It's very heavy duty. Get yourself a quality jack. Speaking of jacks, we have the farm jack, the high lift jack, whatever you want to call it. This thing's dangerous. I'm not going to say it's useless. If you used them in the past, if you grew up with these like I did, they have a scenario that they work. Maybe if you need to just come along yourself backwards to get off of a high-centered rock or something like that. But I got to where I do not carry this anymore. I carried it when I very first started out because I thought it looked cool and I wanted to get one, and found that it's unsafe and very dangerous. It's very heavy. I had it in the back of my truck. It took up a lot of space. There's better ways to get recovered than using a jack like that. So usually all this will eliminate having to carry something like that. You Jeep guys love those things. I know you do, but they're pretty useless. Traction boards. Obviously, these aren't Max Tracks. These are by Rough Country. Again, when I first started out, I didn't have the Max Tracks budget, so I bought 4 of these that were probably cheaper than 2 of the Max Tracks. These, 2 of them are 5 years old. You can see they're a little pink. All the grips are on them. They're all still strong. I've used them many, many, many times in all weather conditions, and they work. 2 years after I bought them, 2 of them broke because a big diesel truck was hung up in some dunes, and I just contacted Rough Country, no questions asked. They sent me 2 brand new ones, which is one of these, and they didn't ask any questions. So I'm not sure what their warranty is. It's not lifetime like Max Tracks, I'm sure, but they had great customer service for me. The point of all this is you don't need to go out and spend a ton of money to be able to get out and start doing some off-roading. Some of the stuff I found, some's very inexpensive. It's all safety. If you're gonna spend your money, spend it on safety. And I just like to recommend some of these for people that are starting out. If you're seasoned, you probably already have your kit together, but just know, you guys that are starting out, you don't need the Max Tracks, you don't need the ARB. Just figure out what works for you, get out in the outdoors, and build your kit slowly. Just make sure you take it with you every time. That's all I have for today, and I'll see you on the next one.